And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I apologize for the stream going down. Fun fact, during the broadcast, as we were talking, I was literally in the middle of saying, "Did you hear that thunder, by the way, in the background?" And then bam!
And then kaboom! House is on fire. I'm sorry, Zugtabal. I didn't mean it.
I'm sorry for bringing attention to it.
I'll never cast Moondance again. I didn't mean it.
Smurge, Papi, smurge. So I do apologize for those wondering. Here in Sydney, there is a pretty big thunderstorm going on right now. I don't know if you could have picked it up on the microphone earlier during when we were casting Cham. But hopefully everything is able to stay stable and connected. If the stream goes down a second time, and if it gets that bad, we're probably gonna call it. We'll cast as much as we can, and then maybe we'll pick this up another day. But hopefully, it sounds like things have settled down. It sounds. It's okay.
Alright, Light's gonna cast on his roof, holding up his antenna. Power me, Papi.
That reminds me, Kuro knows this because this happened a couple of years ago. I've actually casted from a laptop in bed before. Like just
You're not normally?
Yeah, just the most kind of like thrown together cast possible to make sure that the stream goes on, Papi. Oh.
Never ends.
Oh god. But speaking of never ending, I mean, that's the dream, Papi. That's the dream. We're still here in the old map pool. We're still here getting into a fresh new series.
Whole new series?
Oh. Whole new world.
Yeah, we'll save that one.
Are you ready, Papi? Are you ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
You go, because I don't know what side you're on.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Moondance for one of the last times. I'm shocked that we even got this map, but it's great to see it once again. We have the Polish Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. It is Gerald.
It's actually one of my favorite maps that we've had in a long time. But anyway, aside, in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, his teammate also playing for Storm, the Korean player in the red, it is GuMiho.
These players, they don't want us to cherish the map anymore, Papi. They want it over, Papi. As GuMiho, okay, never mind. He's going for a proxy Rax, but only a singular proxy Rax.
Yeah, so this is something that was a lot more popular maybe 6-7 months ago. It's something that still GuMiho does a lot. Special does it pretty much every game. I think it's a very good way to play as well, because basically we're in this double gas meta, and all that you're changing is where this Rax is. You're not actually changing the build at all apart from that. So it can be a nice way to just start off with a little bit of extra aggression, throw the Protoss off their game plan a little bit, and we already see Gerald is actually going for a 2-gate response, and this is a very interesting way to deal with this. It does mean that you have a lot of counter pressure possible for yourself across the map after you hold the initial Reapers, but it can put you pretty far behind. This is something that I had noticed a lot in my latter games and thought intuitively was probably pretty bad, but it's interesting to see a high-level player doing it.
He's trying to do his best Patty Mac impression, Papi.
True.
True. As I was about to bring up as well, that typically when you go for a proxy Rex like this, we've seen Beyond do this quite often as well. You know, you've got that bunker on the way, but because of the gateway response, we'll see how much damage this can get done. As you were saying, it's a bit of a risk, but so far, Geralt has done a pretty good job of keeping his workers alive. But GuMiho comes back! He comes back, Papi!
Yeah, there we go. So we've lost 2 workers already. That's pretty good damage for the Reaper, especially considering that we've got a double gate opening. It's very nice. The bunker's going to be finishing up as well, so that does mean that we can actually kill this pylon. It's a pretty big deal, but what is there at home to defend? We have 2 adepts going straight across the map. GuMiho with a bit of a rush together wall, bit of an ugly wall here. He's going to opt to put his CC on the high ground, and it's going to be a little while before he has anything.
See, GuMiho is getting ready for the next map pool, Papi. You know, you gotta you gotta get creative with some of these walls, mate. As we do have the wall up and running, the adept gets here just in time to not even get that SCV kill. The Reapers, they come back into the main base once again, forcing a lot of lost mine time.
Yeah, the Reapers dip back in, and that is 6 kills in total for these Reapers. That is more than enough to pay for themselves. So all it really comes to now for GuMiho is just keeping himself safe at home. Can he defend these 2 adepts? Looks like these adepts are, really not making too much headway on this depot, and they're going to be heading back home to help deal with the Reapers.
And the Stalker just went down. The Stalker got hunted down by the Reaper, so another unit falling. Still no mining going on at the natural whatsoever. And Gerald, he wasn't able to really deal any counter pressure. Oh my god. Looks like going to go a little bit of a pause, but hopefully everything's cleared up.
Yeah, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is a disaster of an opening here for Gerald. Back home, we do see a bit of a Cyclone 3 racks into later on medevac timing coming out from GuMiho. This was an extremely popular follow-up to this build. I think Bunny popularized it at, what was the DreamHack before Atlanta?
Valencia,
yeah. Bunny popularized this at Valencia, and still a very strong way to play, and it really does seem that GuMiho, with the multitask with those Reapers, has completely picked apart Gerald in the early game.
Yeah, and as we can see, this natural is going to be going down here. Or at least Gerald has to do everything he can to try and save it. If he doesn't, the game may as well be over. He's throwing down a third gateway, I guess, just to try and commit to a 1-base all-in.
Yeah, this is rough. This is a really rough position to be in. He has the 2 Cyclones of GuMiho out on the map as well. This bunker is going to be slowing him down quite a lot. If we can pick up a few extra Stalkers here, but Gerald, he can barely get down his ramp. There's no way he's going to be able to get a natural up. He is desperately trying to get these 3 gates and this robo up, and he's just going to have to go into a 3-gate robo all in from here, but from so far behind.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is that GuMiho is fully aware of this. He's aware that Geralt is still only on 1 base. Geralt even supply blocked right now. I just now breaking free of it. Are we going to get a salvage in the end? It looks like we will. The Cyclone shop, and they're going to pick off another 2 Stalkers.
Wow, yeah, nice micro coming out from GuMiho. He is a master when it comes to these Cyclones, both in TvP and TvT. Gets just so much done with them. And yeah, you can see Gerald, he is chrono boosting out that Warp Prism, going to be trying to get these Stalkers across the map. Does finally take out at least one of these Cyclones. Not going to get the second with that medevac popping in to save it. And now it's just going to be a matter of whether he can break in. GuMiho just making pure Marines. Very interesting follow-up.
Yeah, a lot of Marines are on the way. He has some tanks. He has 1 at the natural, none in the main. No bunkers, which is a little bit worrisome here.
Oh, I'm so stealing this. This is a sick follow-up to the proxy rack. This is really cool. But yeah, he's going to be going for basically pure Marine tank medevac and just trying to hit a huge stim timing. Obviously, not really going to get that far with Gerald going for the aggression of his own. Going to be a bit of an extra warp in. Going to be adepts, actually. So maybe looking for a bit of multi-prong with those adepts, but they're going to be met by a wall at the natural.
Yeah, as we can see here, he tries to shade into the natural, but there's a wall, so the pathing doesn't go through. The Stalkers do get into the main base. There is no tank sieged up. We do have it coming in from the low ground. We do have Stim being targeted down. Up. Ooh.
Yeah, Stim is going to be going down. GuMiho doesn't even pull SCVs to repair this. I think he just realizes he's so far ahead, he barely even cares, which is pretty wild. That does mean with Stim being denied that he's probably not going to have Stim for a very, very long time, but he focuses down the Warp Prism. Doesn't even pull SCVs. He's so confident in Gerald. He is out of there. That was a brutally dominant game from GuMiho.
GG, well played. Man with gun doesn't even need the drugs, doesn't even need Stim. GuMiho just shuts it all down. At the same time, he was actually going for some drop harass with that 1 Cyclone that survived, and he got 8 more probe kills, and he kept the Cyclone alive. So he was just he was just all over Geralt that game. What a performance. Jesus.
What a bully.
What a bully, Poppy. Oh my god. Yeah, he does take a bit of a lead in this series, but to be fair, we did see as well that potentially Gerald had some performance issues with his computer, with his PC that was provided at HomeStory Cup, so maybe that came into play at least at the start of the game, and now that those issues have resolved, maybe he can bring it back here in Game 2.
Yeah, I do find that proxy reapering Protosses does tend to cause issues with their computers sometimes. Causes all sort of issues like internet lag, frame lag, hotkey issues. It's caused definitely.
Jet lag, you know, it happens.
Jet lag,
yeah.
It causes jet lag.
I can relate, Bobby. I can relate. Oh my god. As we're going to be getting ready here for game number 2 in this series, something that's a little bit surprising though. Again, you love to see it, just because I don't know how many more times we're going to be able to cast it. Game 2 is Stargazers.
Yeah, so there we go. We've gone from one of the more unusual maps in the pool to probably the most unusual map in the pool, one of the more experimental maps. And I have to say, looking back on this map pool, definitely a bit of a mixed reception to this map. I did see a lot of the Koreans didn't really care and just played this map anyway. There was plenty of Korean TVZs on this map, TvPs as well. But I think definitely the Europeans stayed away from it a lot.
Definitely. I mean, that was the favorite thing. My favorite part about casting ESL Cup Asia on a weekly basis is that we got to see Stargazers on a weekly basis. You know, as you were saying, the Koreans, they didn't care. They're like, Stargazers, sure, yeah, it's great. it's wonderful. Just play on it, forehead. Whereas, you know, because of the meta, because of the stylistic differences between regions like Europe and even North America as well, they shied away from it quite a bit more.
Yeah, I think the Koreans kind of like draw a line in the middle of the map and they just look at the top half and they go, oh, sick. We just get to drop harass each other until one of us dies.
It's beautiful, Poppy. It's beautiful. As we're getting into game number 2, and Asher, are you ready, Poppy?
Yeah.
Oh, 3, 2, 1.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of the map, down 1-0 in the series, looking for his chance to bring it back and tie things up. This is the Polish Protoss for Storm. This is Gerald.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Stargazers, we have his opponent, the South Korean Terran player representing Storm Gaming. It is GuMiho.
Wanna see me do it again?
I mean, I don't blame him. Like, he kind of styled all over Geralt in game 1.
I mean, one of my favorite things that you can also do with this is, I remember Mario doing this a lot, where basically he just did the same build over and over, but he just changed where he puts the rack. So like sometimes it would be right on their side of the map, sometimes it'd be in the middle of the map, sometimes it'd just be in his own third, and he just float it back into his main. There's a lot you can do with this, and with Gerald going for that 2-gate response, in GuMiho's shoes, 100% go for the proxy racks again, because I'm like, if you're going to play double gate against this, I'm doing this all day.
Yeah, Smooch, Bobby. He's a bully, Bobby. He's a bully. We do have a probe scout coming out from Geralt. He is going to confirm once again that the Rax is missing, and he's looking for it right now. He's just checking the in-base pocket of GuMiho, as we see Geralt setting up at low ground, and he's forced to make that initial zealot.
Yeah, makes a zealot, makes a cyber core as well. Looks like he maybe wanted to go for a fast nexus there, but does get that scout that he needs. I do like that this time he's not going to be going for the double gate. I think this is a much stronger response as well. And GuMiho back at home, just going to be going for a pretty similar setup, getting that fast factory, trying to keep this probe from being too annoying, and should just be 1 or 2 Reapers coming out here.
Yeah, we'll see how good I was going to say how good the RNG is, but the bunker is not going to be able to finish up. There we go, forces are cancelled due to that zealot. Reaper is going to show up, and it looks like he will get a probe for his troubles. Can he get a second?
Yeah, really nice micro coming out from Gerald, so he's going to be able to go after some of these probes. Nice move by Gerald. Is going to be popping that probe into that gas. Actually pulls it away as well. So some pretty nice micro there, but GuMiho doesn't get away without his prize. And looks like that Zealot's going to be going across the map, trying to see what damage it can get. Just being annoying, maybe picking away at the add-on here. And actually, with GuMiho taking his CC on the ground on the low ground, sorry, rather greedily, we might get a small delay, but no, he's just too quick with that Reaper.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is a bit of a greedy move for GuMiho, especially because we now have 2 gateway units here from Gerald. But Gerald, he doesn't commit because he took so much damage. He pulls back for a moment. Now he's going back for it once again. But so far, GuMiho's done a great job at just delaying this.
Yeah, GuMiho putting some good damage down on that Zealot as well is really going to help him once this gets across the map. We do have the Adept getting across the map as well, so going to be the Adept, Zealot, and Stalker getting over here. That Cyclone really not too far off, and yeah, it looks like Gerald just the tiniest bit too late here, and that Cyclone is going to be out in time to help save this low ground.
Yeah, it comes out just in time. Even though Gerald got the high ground, was able to outzone in our position, those Reapers doesn't even matter. We have the lock on, the Cyclone has been revealed, and Gerald is forced back home.
Yeah, but there we go. The Adept actually gets into the main, and that's going to be able to get a bit of damage. We have a delay on this second barracks, and we might be able to get a second SCV here as well.
Oh, yeah, exactly. We do see the Adept forced to shade out once again. Does get caught by the Cyclone outside the natural, is going to go down. But at least the Adept got into the main base. At least the Adept was able to get a scout of the production.
Yeah, so there we go. We are getting the extra racks going down for GuMiho once again. Going to be going into that 3 racks off of this. So same follow-up as the last game. We should have a Stargate coming, a Starport coming down as well for a little bit of a faster drop later on. And what is the response from Gerald? We have a shield battery. We've got a robo on the way as well.
Yeah, we do have a nice lock-on. Here comes the second cycle with a double lock-on. I don't think the shield battery is going to be enough, and we don't. Oh, there we go. We do have an overcharge just barely in time to keep this Stalker alive.
Yeah, there we go. So the overcharge is going to be applied. That does mean that these Stalkers have a little bit of extra time, and he catches GuMiho not looking.
Oh, he's not looking, puppy. He loses the Cyclone, so a little bit of a blunder there by GuMiho. He loses one of his Reapers as well. But yeah, in the end, Gerald, he's able to survive. I believe the Reaper did slip into the main base and was able to confirm, the Twilight Council was able to confirm the upgrade on the way.
Yeah, but does it confirm the extra gates? We're going up to 4 gates here for Gerald, so going to be a 4-gate blink, and this can be something that's very annoying to deal with on this map. Just because of this back base area, because of the really large main, there's a lot of angles that you can abuse and move around within.
Yeah, as we can see, the Prism is on the way. GuMiho does have control of the watchtower, so depending on what he sees, he may be able to piece this together. For the time being, he is in the dark. As you were saying, GuMiho didn't see the additional gateways as they were being thrown down. 4 Stalkers are going to show up, and they're looking to take control of that Xel'Naga. Oh!
Yeah. Very interesting unit positioning coming out from GuMiho, actually sieging both of his tanks at the front here, and that does mean he's not really protected in the back, and it's a pretty long path to get back into that main, so I think he might be punished for this.
Yeah, Gerald, he's going to blink straight into the pocket base. GuMiho has no idea. He's coming back in with his Reaper to regain control of the Xel'Naga, but no, he doesn't go for the tower, and he misses this again.
Yeah, he does miss it. The stim this time does look like it should be able to just finish up, but there's going to be a fair bit of damage going down. That is quite a lot of Stalkers. How's GuMiho's response? He tries to get back on in. He has 3 tanks, fourth tank on the way.
Yeah, exactly, but so much damage is being done already. Not so many SV kills, but a lot of lost mine time. Meanwhile, here we go. Stim has finished up. A couple of Stalkers are going to go down, and we have a recall.
Yeah, pretty quick recall, recognizing that with Stim being finished up, he has to get on out of there. 3 Stalkers go down. This 4th Stalker going to be going down as well. Not before it can get a bit of damage. Nice repairs coming out from GuMiho. Won't be losing any SCVs there.
That was cute. GuMiho just minimizing as much damage as possible. He has to be careful with that Cyclone as well, but he does pull it back. The Stalker will be able to blink out in time. Geralt behind this, he did throw down a 3rd Nexus, and he has a Bay on the way to get into those Colossi or Disruptors.
Yeah, that's right. And one of the things that I do want to point out as well is GuMiho stimmed his whole army, and this is a pretty interesting build he's gone for. It's almost a bit of a Dolan build. Hasn't gone full Dolan with the 2 reactors and the only combat shields, but he has skipped out on his starport to get much faster tanks, and this is a very powerful timing, but it does seem like Gerald's bought himself just enough time, and that extra stim is huge here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm really curious to see how this is going to work out, especially because that robotics facility is quite exposed. And here we go. We have a scan. GuMiho sees the army in position. He's going to try and force himself up this ramp. As you were saying, we don't have medevacs to support this.
Yeah, we do not, and that does mean that this could get in at a very awkward angle. There's really not that much here for Gerald to support this army. GuMiho being very careful not to use that stim too quickly, but there we go. He's going to stim in towards the third, and looks like Gerald has been cut off. These tanks stop him from getting across here, actually being sim-cityed out a little bit by his own robo.
Yeah, he's being completely zoned away from the third base. At the same time, he's going to force a delay on the third of GuMiho as he tries to get it down on location, but Gerald, that's a kill on that Nexus.
Yeah, the Nexus goes down, and that is huge. We do see these Marines are very overstimmed, and GuMiho's going to have to be careful to cover himself with the tanks on this retreat. But yeah, there we go. Looking to keep up the pressure, and behind this, getting his own third on location.
Oh, here we go. The disruptors are coming out. The Novas go off once again. GuMiho not looking for a moment there, but he did pre-split his Marines, so he didn't lose too many of them. Here we go. Geralt is looking to break on through, but oh my god, he takes so many tank shots. Oh.
Yeah, it does feel like GuMiho is starting to overstay his welcome a little bit. These Marines are pretty heavily overstimmed. He does want to, if he can, get out of here without losing the tanks.
Yeah, does he want to get out? I don't know. I think he should. I agree. As Disruptor is going to go down. One Nova does connect with those tanks at the same time. The Prism gets across them, and we have Zealots in the main base and at the third of GuMiho. So he himself is sustaining some losses, and there we go. It looks like he finally decides to turn around.
Yeah, fantastic counterattack coming out from Gerald, realizing that GuMiho is just rallying across the map, and there was a lot of pressure on the front, so went for the counterattack instead, and is getting some great damage for it. 10 SCVs go down, 11 SCVs already going down, so Gerald is getting himself back into this game.
Yeah, exactly. For a long time, though, GuMiho was essentially on one base economy, and he still is. So many SCVs are forced off the mineral line right now. More Zealots are being morphed in as well. GuMiho's entire army is forced back home, and Geralt is able to take his third at his pocket.
Yeah, exactly. So Gerald finally finds himself the time, finds himself the space to get himself back into this game. And it does feel like for the first time, he's kind of getting to play his own game. He's getting to play StarCraft.
He's playing StarCraft. He's playing StarCraft, Poppy. Let's go. Was that a kill? Okay, forced to lift up the third CC of GuMiho once again. Geralt, he's going for his own counterattack, containing GuMiho to these two bases. Has to be careful not to overextend himself, but the disruptors are here. Oh.
He says, how do you like it, buddy? And we do have that observer in the back base as well for a bit of potential damage. Those disruptors getting a good amount of damage. They're breaking down that wall.
Oh, yeah. 3 Novas take down both the depots and the missile turret as well. So Geralt, he's not in a bad position right now. You know, he's getting his third base fully saturated. We see GuMiho going for a bit of a scan, and he is going to actually barely see that Dark Shrine.
Yeah, really well-timed scan. Sees the Dark Shrine, sees the Robo Bay as well as the extra gases, so should have a pretty complete picture of what Gerald's doing here.
Yeah, he definitely should. We do see more turrets being thrown down. He's going to be getting ready for some scans if need be. We do see he's forced to expand in his own pocket base, and Geralt has eyes on this, but due to that observer, he does have eyes on everything.
Yeah, absolutely. He has a path into that back base if he wants to blink in as well. So very nicely placed observer there is just going to be getting eyes on everything. Has that watchtower in the middle of the map as well. This is a pretty oppressive watchtower for any drops or anything like that GuMiho might want to go for to get himself back into the game. But GuMiho, he does have the SCVs to fully saturate this back third, so he's on an equal footing at least for now. Gerald is starting to go up to a fourth though.
Yeah, fourth is on the way towards the south. We do see that Twilight Council, Templar Archives on the way for Storm, for Archons, for more diverse splash damage. We have a Colossi, we have Disruptors as well. So Geralt, he has so much freedom to do whatever he wants. And as you said, because he has control of the Xel'Naga, because he has control of the map itself, GuMiho is having a hard time moving out. As I say that, he is pushing through the southern portion of the map.
Yeah, and GuMiho does have some advantages here. He has 1-1 against the 0-0 of Gerald. So Gerald, because of all his tech, because he went so early for disruptors, followed up with DTs and everything like that. He hasn't really had the gas to go for upgrades yet, so +1 is on the way, but there's going to be a timing here where it's probably going to be 1-1 or 1-0 against the 2-2 of GuMiho, and he's going to have a mean 2-2 timing here.
Oh yeah, and we'll see how he can make use of that. We do see him regaining control of the center of the map, taking control of the zone Naga as well, clearing up whatever stalkers are in his path. At the same time, Gerald does have a couple of DTs towards the south. He's looking to try and slip them in at the opportune moment when GuMiho is a little bit distracted. We do see him trying to load up for a double drop, but Gerald is in position in his natural.
Yeah, there we go. So he has retaken that watchtower there, but Gerald with a pretty good army sitting there in the back of his base, and he's pretty. He has effectively split himself up here. Could be a little bit awkward to defend this southern base if GuMiho comes in from the south, especially if he's not spotted, and looks like that's what he's looking to do. Oh, the War Prism just rallying through the army, bit unlucky there.
Oh yeah, on top of that, we did see a bit of a mine drop. 9 probes just went down. At the same time, DTs are slipping into the natural base of GuMiho, but GuMiho does spot this. He pulls the boys and is not going to lose too much.
Yeah, there we go. He is going to be pulling back towards that tank, and it is just the one DT there. The DT kind of gives itself away there, attacking the eBay, so we're going to be back to mining for GuMiho.
Yeah, he has dealt with that DT threats and the aggression. We do see him now focusing on his main push. Is able to avoid disaster by dodging those purification overs. Now he's meeting up with the rest of his ghosts, with the rest of his Widow Mines. 2-2 is now done.
Yeah, 2-2 is done. It is go time. With those ghosts, with those 2-2, he has got a serious timing. Gerald's still only on 1 Colossus as well, starting to branch into High Templar. Does look like, I believe he has Storm. Yes, he does have Storm, so pretty diverse army from Gerald, but not the scariest army, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I worry for the lack of Colossi. Like, we don't even have that many Vikings here. We don't have a transition into Liberators. Like, Colossi would be amazing right now, especially against all these ghosts, but I guess Gerald is more confident in his Disruptor micro, I would have to say. But we'll see if his Disruptor micro and control can trump the splits of GuMiho.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 5 disruptors here. We're starting to get into that scary number where you can just keep throwing them out over and over again and keep the army back. But GuMiho, he is set up, ready to go in with his double drop towards the north as well if he ever notices that the split's not quite right.
Yeah, he can go for that backstab. We do see Geralt in the middle of the map, a little bit out of position, but looks like a scouting probe or a would-be 5th base or even 6th base of Geralt does spot the army, so he's going to be able to rotate back around. Before that happens, GuMiho is going on in and he's going to be able to get that shield battery. He denies the overcharge. Yeah,
we got the Gigastim. We have the dive right on the Nexus of Terran after my own heart. Beautiful to see, as we do see him dipping on out of there, so it does get out in time. He's going to be losing those mines, but he does set up himself for a bit of a follow-up attack.
Yeah, definitely. You know, now he's fully aware of where the army is, so if he wanted to, he could try and go for that drop. He has to be careful. There are stalkers left in that pocket base for Geralt. Meanwhile, Geralt, he's hunting down that army. He wants to try and catch it out of position, but he barely catches the tail end of it.
Yeah, it does look like GuMiho tracking pretty well. He's going to be losing one of those medevac, shaves off a couple of stalkers for his troubles as well. Slowly being pushed back towards his base, and meanwhile, how is he going back at home? He is starting to make his air transition with that +1 air on the way. 3-3 isn't too far off at all, as well as that fusion core, so he should have Liberators on the way soon enough.
Yeah, there we go. Fusion core is about to finish up. We have the 5th base on the way for GuMiho as well, so he's keeping up with the economy of the Protoss. He is now maxed out, but Geralt is looking to push in. His army has been spotted. There we go. We have the scan, and GuMiho, he can come in from multiple angles.
Yeah, this is something that can be very scary for Protoss on this map. There's a lot of open areas that you can get surrounded on.
Yeah, but you know what? The northern army of GuMiho goes down immediately. The Novas connect, the Ghosts all go down, and this is a little bit mistimed.
Yeah, a little bit of a mistimed surround coming out from GuMiho. He does land some huge EMPs, so there's a lot of damage going down the army, but nice Storm really bruises everything for GuMiho. I love it. The high ground High Templar as well, flanking.
Oh my god, GuMiho loses everything in the blink of an eye. In a couple of seconds, he drops 70 supply. Almost every single ghost just went down, and now Geralt, he has the momentum. He can keep pushing.
Yeah, all his bio is in the red. There's only 4 medevacs. They are working overtime to try to get this bio back in fighting shape, and GuMiho are going to be dropping back towards his, I was going to say tanks. Yes, okay, we have 2 tanks. This is a nice defensive position, but there we go. Gerald actually just going to be rotating down towards the south.
Yeah, exactly. That 5th base is under threat. At the same time, the tank at the natural does go down. More storms are connecting with what little is left of GuMiho's army. And, oh my god, he barely has anything remaining. I think that was the final tank.
Yeah, the tank goes down, so that does take a lot of the sticking power out of this defense. And nice moves coming out from Gerald, laying down that storm, getting the disable on the ghost as well. And there's really barely anything left here. Very cautious coming out from Gerald, and I think that's certainly warranted. Doesn't want to lose this army.
Yeah, exactly. He stutter steps backwards here against the boys that were pulled by GuMiho. Gerald is forced back for the time being, but GuMiho is hurting so much. He lost all of his tanks, he lost all of his widow mines, his ghost count was reset as well. He only has a handful of ghosts remaining, and it's not enough to really contest against his army.
Yeah, not at all. There we go. One of those orbitals is going to be going down. GuMiho taking a serious amount of damage here, and this army for Gerald just continues to get larger. It is made up a lot. It is made up of a lot of stalkers, so not the highest quality army, but we still have enough disruptors, enough immortals left over to deal with that. Actually, 5 immortals in there. They'll absolutely shred marauders.
Oh, they really will. Once they get close enough to actually dish out that DPS, we do see once again the Protoss army pushing on forward. Another Nova does go off. It does connect with the army. Colossi is going to go down, but there was only one, and now the Vikings are kind of dead supply.
Yeah, there is just way too much here for Gerald. His army even kind of getting in the way of itself. The Stalker's blocking out the rest of the units from getting in, but now he is blinking forward. He is chasing down these ghosts, and GG is called. Beautiful comeback from Gerald.
Oh, GG, well played. Things were looking a little bit dire for Gerald, but we saw the backstabs. We saw him get away with, skipping on those Colossi and getting those disruptors, getting that map control and being able to reestablish his bases. And yeah, all it took was one good fight. There was a moment there where both armies were maxed out. We saw GuMiho. It looked like he was setting up for a bit of a surround, but the prongs weren't synced up necessarily the way we want him to sync up. And yeah, GuMiho, he was kind of picked apart.
Yeah, I was ready for an insane fight, but it looks like Gerald just picked up on that a little bit too soon and managed to engage that top half early. And the high ground high Templars as well came in seriously clutch.
Yeah, exactly. The flanking storms, Papi. Oh my god. It was enough, and with that, we end up with a tied up series. It's always a little bit awkward. No one really won, no one really lost, but I guess Gerald won in a way because he was definitely up against one of the favorites in his group, and that's why it's all the more important to be able to get a point on the board against them.
Yeah, I mean, Gerald, after losing that first game, looked in a pretty rough spot in that second game, and for him to be able to pull out the win there and for that to be a 1-1 score overall, that's pretty nice.
Oh yeah, exactly. It goes to show that as well, Gerald, his mental fortitude, he had the mind of the strong, the mental of the strong. He didn't quite crumble under the pressure after a really rough game 1. He was able to stick with it and have that comeback. Yes,
they're really nicely done by the Polish Protoss. There is able to tie up those points with GuMiho, and that's going to help him out a lot in this group. As you were saying, GuMiho, one of the stronger members.
Definitely. And we're going to see if Gerald can continue with his success here, as we are now taking a bit of a break from the TvP. Now we're getting into our one and only mirror matchup in this group, if I recall correctly. It is going to be Nightmare versus Gerald.